Hi everyone, my name is Leanne and today I'm going to be bringing you a poetry book haul. If you've been around my channel a little while, you will know that I am a huge champion of poetry on BookTube. I love reading poetry, I love writing poetry, although I have been in a bit of a writing slump recently, which I'm hoping to rectify over the Christmas period because I'm going to have a little bit of time to focus on writing. But anyways, let's just get into the poetry books. I'm going to start with some books that I have been sent recently. So a while back, the lovely Jen Campbell was doing a clear out of her poetry bookshelves and she asked if anyone would like a parcel of poetry, and I said, yes please, and she very kindly sent me these four. The first collection I have is Handwriting by Michael-Ondaatje. This is a collection about childhood, culture and tradition. It's about memories of the poet's childhood in Sri Lanka, and I don't actually think I've ever read anything from a Sri Lankan writer before, so I'm really looking forward to trying these poems out. I love poems about people's childhood memories, so I'm really looking forward to this one. The next collection I have is Cure All by Kim Parko. This was the collection of the four that I knew the least about. With the other ones Jen sent me, I knew some of the publishing houses or the authors. I'd read a couple of their poems before, but this one is completely new to me. I believe this collection is full of striking imagery and imagination. I think there's a lot of wordplay and uncanny things in this, so I'm really looking forward to trying it out. The next collection I have is Feral by Janet McAdams. This is a collection all about the relationships between feral children and their caregivers. It's an exploration of those very unique relationships that really go against traditional ways of thinking. I also absolutely love the cover design of this book as well. Next up I have Jen Karetnik's The Treasures That Prevail, and this one is also signed, which is a very cool added extra. The title of this collection comes from the Adrienne Rich poem Diving into the Wreck, and I read a collection of her poetry which included that poem earlier this year. I think this is a fantastic and important idea for a poetry collection. The collection is narrated by two unnamed women who are married with a teenage daughter and a teenage son, and it is all about the effects of climate change on Miami. And it's about what will happen to low-lying coastal cities if some sort of change doesn't happen. This one just sounds so cool, and once I read it, I'm pretty sure it's going to be one that I recommend to a lot of people in my life. Up next we have Nisha Baku's Black and White Dream. I was contacted by the poet about this one. I spoke about one of her previous poetry collections over the summer. I think I read it for the BookTubeathon. When she asked me would I like a copy of her new book, I was like, yes please. I don't know too much about the themes of the poems in here, but I really enjoyed the slightly surreal nature of her previous collection. I've also just realised looking through this book that is published by Broken Sleep Books, which are a poetry publishing house that I'd never heard of before, but since looking them up, I think they're amazing and I love absolutely everything they stand for. And I've just realised that they are based in Ceredigion in Wales, which is where I used to live, and I had no idea that these people existed. I wish I'd known about these guys when I was actually based in Ceredigion. But yeah, really looking forward to trying more of this poet's work and also looking into this publishing house some more. This next book is an anthology and it is called Mermaids, and it is an anthology all about mermaids. My friend Ilaria picked this one up for me and she very kindly gave it to me because it reminded her of me, which is like the sweetest thing that anyone can do for a book lover. I love poetry, I love mermaids, I'm sold. I also bought some poetry for myself recently, and the first of those is She Must Be Mad by Charlie Cox. I got this one because I actually finally filled up my Waterstones card. I've already read this one, as you can see by all the sticky tabs that I put in it, and that means that I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm not sure if this video is going to go up before or after my November wrap up, but I will be sharing my full thoughts on this collection in that video. But essentially, this book is like, our magazine called it social media's answer to Carol Ann Duffy, and sometimes I feel a bit awkward when like comparisons like that are made, but you know what, I think it's fully justified. I absolutely loved this collection. There's a lot to do with relationships, contemporary womanhood, those kinds of things. It's an extremely witty collection, which I really appreciated as well. It has a few vibes of like what is referred to as Instagram poetry, but it's definitely got a more literary edge much than that. But yeah, I will talk about this one more in my wrap up. Speaking of Caroline Duffy, I have Off the Shelf, which is edited by Caroline Duffy. This is an anthology made up of a bunch of different poems from various fantastic poets that are all about celebrating bookshops. I love bookshops. I work in a bookshop. I am currently writing an essay on why publishers should value bookshops, and that's the reason that I decided to pick up this collection. I thought it might spark up some thoughts about that kind of thing. So I will definitely be reading this one soon. And the final collection I have is Hold Your Own by Kate Tempest. I absolutely love Kate Tempest. She is one of my favourite poets of all time, but I've never actually read Hold Your Own. This collection weaves together classical Greek mythology, autobiography, and social commentary. I'm trying to get into mythology a little bit more, and I think a great way of doing that is going to be through the retellings in this collection. If you are looking for a way to get into poetry, if you're feeling a little bit reluctant about understanding it and whatnot, I can highly recommend Kate Tempest, but I'm sure you've heard of her already. So that's it. They are all the poetry collections that I'm going to talk about today. Do let me know down in the comments if you've read any of these and what you thought of them. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to reading all of these. I love nothing more than snuggling down in an evening and enjoying a good poetry collection. So I hope you guys are all doing well, and I will talk to you in my next video.